Let's meet Virgo. Virgo is the sign of the zodiac who reflects the Virgin, but not the Virgin as in she's never had sex. That is a very modern definition of virgin. A virgin in the olden days meant a woman who is empowered. And through this empowerment, she serves others for the highest good. So she feels that she is not owned by anyone. Nobody owns her. Nobody owns her emotions. Nobody owns her thoughts. She is empowered upon herself. She loves herself so much that she can serve from an open heart. That is the Virgo. It's the highest service. Virgos are usually the priestesses. They are the ones in the temples who bring the healing, who bring the medicines, who bring the teachings and the oracle messages from spirit to the people, because they are not obstructed by other people's needs or other people's wants. So like, in politics, the tradition that some people can be bought, right? So they go where the money is. They vote for where the money is. Virgo doesn't care about these things. Virgo does what is best in all situations, even when it's tough. So Virgo is very grounded in herself. And here is her story. So if you want to, you can relax, close your eyes, and just allow this to wash over you as you hear the story of Virgo. I am Virgo. I am grounded. I am centered. I am whole. The love I have for all of humanity flows through my heart and through my hands. The love I have for all shows through my hands, through my work, through my actions, and through my kindness. Some of you might call me the Virgin, but note that I'm actually not a virgin in today's definition of not having had sex. The Virgin is she who is already whole onto herself. I don't need anyone else to tell me that I am whole, because I am one with universe, and I know this to the bottom of my soul. I am whole. I am unattached. I am free. I am self-sufficient. I am unconstrained, unowned. There's no organization, cult, relationship that can dictate what's best for me to do. I am free, I'm whole, complete, I'm grounded in the knowledge of myself. I love and honor myself just the way I am, all the pieces of me. I know I am made of light and shadows. And because I'm not rejecting any pieces of me, I know they're there, then my shadows don't own me either. And so I am empowered. I understand that empowerment does not mean power over others. It means that I have developed the courage, the inner strength to live in alignment with my soul and to live in alignment for what is right for the highest good of all. No matter what people say around me, no matter what's going on, no matter the fashion, no matter the pop culture, I know how to tune in, to listen into wisdom, and to do what I know is best for the highest good. And because I'm so whole and complete and grounded in my self-worth, it makes me the perfect channel and model for being of service. And I love being useful. I love to contribute to the betterment of others and of society. And I'm excellent at detail-oriented tasks because I know that the details will lead to a great outcome. I think with strategy, and I don't let my emotions cloud my better judgment. I encourage and push myself and others to become even more whole, more productive, more goal-oriented. I hold the long-term visions for a better world, for better health, for greater nourishment. And I give out clear and precise instructions on how to get there. I'm a really good organizer, and some can call me the queen of feng shui. Everything has a place, everything in its place. There's no time or energy wasted on superfluous things that really have no use. I love when things are just so, when it flows just well, when things are efficient. But that, however, can also be my shadow, because it can make me a bit of a perfectionist. And instead of acting for what's best, sometimes I just wait. I sit and wait, and I meditate, and I wait for the perfect moment, and I wait for the perfect opportunity, and I wait for the perfect person in my relationship, and I wait for the perfect time when there's enough money and enough this and enough that. And I wait and I wait and I wait and I don't do. And it's true that I live a lot from my headspace, because I know that things can be perfect. I know what ought to do. And I hate it when I feel unable or not capable or weak or vulnerable. And sometimes other people just don't feel ready for what I have to offer. They just get in the way. These human emotion things, it gets in the way. Human emotions can be so inefficient. And when things don't go the way I planned, well, I can crumble. It's just, I know how things should be. I know that I had the best possible plan based on my perfect logic. So I can get angry, I can get jaded, I can get so critical of myself and so critical of others. And then it's really hard for me to accept what is. I don't tolerate failure very well. And at times, I even rather not start on a task if I know the outcome won't be perfect, or if I think I might look weak or silly doing it. I can get so nitpicky, so judgmental. And at times that self-judgment is all inward towards myself. And when I judge myself, well, that's when I feel tired all the time. That's when I feel sad all the time. That's when my anxiety really spikes. It's because I'm judging myself for not being good enough. And in my head, I can hear everything that's not right, everything that's going wrong, everything where it's not good enough. And I become a champion at finding all the flaws, all the errors everywhere, and in everyone, and in everything. And then I feel like my energy just shrinks and shrinks and shrinks and shrinks. And I become just shriveled and bitter. And I can't see the bigger picture anymore. And that can turn me into a workaholic, where I want to do more and more and more, or I might want to learn more and more and more, and prove to others everything that I can do. And then again, I feel overwhelmed, and I look to others to validate me and to validate my worth. And if I receive criticism, well, it just reinforces my inner talk that I'm not good enough, not valuable enough, not knowledgeable enough, not pretty enough, not healthy enough, not enough. And that makes me feel even more miserable. And instead of trying to make the world a better place, I just want to be angry and lash out and show everyone how miserable living really is, how nothing is right. And I can be so sure that I have the right answer and that no one else can do it better than me, that I stop being in community. I stop delegating. I stop trusting others that they can do what's best for them. Sometimes I have my hands in so many pots trying to manage everybody else's life because I believe for sure they don't know what they're doing or how to do it right, whether it's at work or whether it's my kids, in my circle of friends, or where I might volunteer. I just try to manage everyone else and forget to look within. And I forget that when I try to manage everyone else and all the situations around me, well, that's when I am disconnected from wholeness, from spirit. And when I do that, when I try to manage everyone else, sometimes I forget that this takes their power away and their wholeness away. Sometimes when I get into this perfectionist self, or I want to manage everything and everyone, I forget that I'm a soul having a human experience and that I chose to be here to experience all of life, not just perfection, but everything, the light and the shadows. I forget that there's a gray zone. And that's where most of the human experience is. I forget that as human beings, we're often in the middle of the extremes. That's where the joy of life is found. That's where the lessons are found. That's where we grow. So when I can calm my mind, when I can ground myself, when I can reconnect to spirit, center myself again, when I can remember my wholeness, when I can reconnect with the beauty and the cycles of nature, then I move out of that nitpicky, judgy mindset. And so much more becomes available to me again. Health, vitality, inner peace, joy, compassion, flow, abundance. And from that place, I remember again that I am Virgo, ready to help, ready to heal, ready to show the way to true joy, to true wealth, true abundance. When I remember to love myself again, when I remember to trust myself again, then I'm ready to nurture the world with love. And breathe. And you can take a few moments to just write down, if you will, one thing or two that really stood out for you as I read about Virgo, her light and her shadows. And when you're ready, just give you a minute or so, and then I'm inviting you to share something that popped up for you.
Hi, Jazz.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what came out to me was when I judge myself, my anxiety spikes.
Yes.
And I have a lot of anxiety, and I suppose it's because I'm judging myself, and I shouldn't be doing that. I just got to go with the flow and stop thinking, oh, I got to be better. I got to be just like this. I got to be just like that.
Mm-hmm.
And the sooner I can get hold of that, the better I will be with my anxiety.
Yeah. That's a big lesson there. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Yeah, the thing was when you try to manage everyone else, then you forget that you take something away from them, their opportunity to learn, to grow, their their goal, something like that, because you take it away from them. Not only you take away something from yourself, but also from the other one you think you're going to help or something.
Yep.
But in the end you end up not helping yourself and maybe not helping the other in that way.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a big lesson too, right? Virgo does it out of love, but we forget sometimes it's not. Thank you.
Yeah.
Danielle?
I can't say there's something in particular that came out. I was really listening and feeling everything you were saying. But what came up was I've actually done a lot of the process, and I'm recognizing it now.
Mm-hmm.
And by really connecting with me more and more, and understanding my power, and just trusting it, and that you will have both, and it's just, you'll always have both sides, and you have to just be aware of when it comes up, and know that it's a part of you, and it's just not who you really are. It's a part.
Yes.
And that part is there for a reason, to wake you up, to shake you a bit. And it's always for your greater good, and for whatever you have to bring to this world. So yes, we are living a human life. But at the same time, we are not even aware of all the potential that we have. We're still, I know I'm talking for myself, I'm still discovering, and it's pretty amazing. So that's what I mean. It's not just one thing. I was just soaking it all in.
Good.
Thank you.
Thank you. And you're so right. Like, we are shadow and light. And a lot of spiritual teachers are going to guide you to only find the light and find the love and find all. And I just call BS on that. Because a big part, the iceberg theory, right? There's the one part that sticks out, and like 90% of the iceberg is below. It's the same for us. A lot of our strength is in our shadows. But because we judge our shadows all the time as not being good enough, then that is untapped potential. So I was raised Catholic, so I have a whole lot of that good girl Catholic guilt going on. And, there's all these beliefs that what a good girl should be like, right? So we should not like sex. We should not do witchcraft. We should not do this. We should always listen to authority and say, yes, ma'am, yes, sir. So there's like all those shoulds that I grew up with. But as long as I accept to play in that paradigm, there's a whole lot in me that I cannot explore, that I don't give myself the gift of exploring, right? So see where that is a truth for you as well. If there are any beliefs about being powerful, about being healthy, about being strong, about being independent, What are the beliefs there that might be in the shadow, the beliefs that you judge? That, "Oh, I should not be that way." And just bring awareness to those. And as you think of them, your anxiety might pop up a little bit because it's a taboo thing for your belief system, for your ego. And ego is only that part of you, again, it's not your whole self, but it's that part of you who is having this human experience and who wants to keep you safe. Your ego is like a little puppy dog or like a little 2 or 3-year-old that you're carrying with you. And yet we often let that part of us run the show, right? And that's the part that has a lot of our beliefs. So just look in, like, what are those beliefs about yourself that you should not be like that ever? If there's something that pops up that you want to share, go ahead and share it. One of the big things that I had to work through as I started my business many years ago is that I should not be a witch. I should not do these meditations. I should not look at the moon and have any power there, because that's just not right. And that's something that I had to heal within myself, just to be here today and do this meditation for you and just realize this is not the devil speaking. It is a very divine and loving part of myself that is so much more rich with wisdom than just reciting lines that I might have learned by heart before. So that's one thing for me. It's always good to share these taboos, because once you share it, once you name it, you claim it, and it doesn't own you anymore. Remember, Virgo is not owned. And the taboos that we have often own us. That's why we don't go in the shadows. So by naming it, you claim it, then you can change something about it. You make it part of yourself. Say, yeah, sometimes I'm a bitch. Yeah, sometimes I do this. And yeah, that's part of me. And when you own it, it doesn't own you anymore. And there's power in sharing it. So if you want to do that as a group, you can do this here. If you want to put a comment, you can do it here. If you want to reach out to me and share that one-on-one, just know that being witnessed in that taboo and say, yeah, of course, it takes the shame away. And when you take the shame away, it takes a lot of the anxiety away, and it makes place for healing.
May I ask you something?
Yes.
Because maybe I don't understand it good enough. Because I was thinking about the shadow thing, and then I think like your bad habits or like things you wanna be better at or whatever. And now you're talking about like the beliefs, the things you should never do, or how you should not behave, or it doesn't click for me. Like how does that go together?
Okay. So let's work through an example. So what would be one thing for you that you don't feel good enough, or that you think you should be doing? Or not?
Well, that's actually a different question at this point, because there are a lot of things going with it, like just not being able to. So that's. So can you repeat the question?
Yeah, if there's one thing that because we are complex beings, so there is going to be a whole lot of stuff. But if you can pick one thing where you have where you're saying that's a shadow for you.
Yeah, I see yeah, that's the thing. I think the perfectionism is like a very it has helped me a lot, but now I actually can see the shadow sides of it more, because it really holds me back. But the way you're talking about it, I don't think that's what you mean. So,
okay. So in the perfectionism, let's say, so there's a lot of shoulds there, right? So I
Mhm.
should do things a certain way. Um,
Mhm.
I should have this in my life, or by this age, I should have accomplished this or that,
Yeah.
right?
Yes. Yeah.
So those are the beliefs. Those are the patterns that we have in our heads. So this is a mental chatter that's going on.
Mhm.
So when I'm saying to go into the shadow, is to look at into those beliefs. So take one of those shoulds. So let's pretend that for you it's that of um, by the age of 30, I should have this salary, let's say.
Mhm.
And then you turn 31 and you don't have that salary. So something's not perfect there. It's not the plan, right? So what is really happening here is that you're judging yourself,
Yeah.
is that you're not loving yourself enough. So a shadow from there might also be that um, let's say that the belief underneath that might be that you thought that to get that salary, it had to be in a typical 9 to 5 job. But your soul is telling you that that's not what you want to do because, and this is a lot from my own life, by the way. I'm kind of inventing it, but kind of basing it on my own life because I was corporate before. So your soul is telling you that you feel like a zombie when you're in the office 9 to 5, and part of your soul is telling you that you're stronger, that you want to do something else. So in coaching and working with the shadow side, okay, Danielle, I got your message. See you later. So working with the shadow side, it would be to go into that untapped part of yourself that wants more out of life. Because the judgment is you're not allowed to have more out of life. The only thing you should aim for is a 9 to 5 job. But the shadow part is saying, no, there's more. And so when you tap into there's more, then there might be some beliefs or judgments, meaning that why can't you have more?
Yeah. Yes.
Right? Why can't you be a priestess? Why can't you be a healer? What is your mind judging as wrong for doing these things?
Yeah. I understand now. Thank you. Yeah.
You're welcome. So that's a whole process. It can take a while. I know that for myself, I've been working on that for quite a few years, and it still pops up every once in a while. But every time that you lean into those fears, then you just realize that it's a judgment that you've been holding. And part of that judgment is the way that you were brought up, the culture, the religion, your parents' beliefs. And when you understand where they come from, then you can let them go.
Exactly. Yeah.
It makes sense now?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Now I understand how it comes together. Yeah, because I missed that part, but now I see it. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you for the question. Okay. Good. So that is just an excellent segue in a way for this work for us to do on the full moon, because the full moon, when we follow the cycles of the moon, at the new moon, we set our intention, and then the energy grows and we do more and more action towards our goal. And at the full moon, we reevaluate the goals, and it's time for decreasing. You see the light of the moon decreases. So that means that it's a time to release. So we release what doesn't work. And so with that Virgo, that perfectionism, Now your intention for this full moon is to just fully release what no longer works for you. So being that we are having a human experience, it might be difficult for us to let go of everything at once. So you might want to think of one thing or two, one belief, one habit that is not supporting your highest good right now. And I see that you're both writing it down on a piece of paper. I invite everyone to do that, because that will be part of your own personal ritual after our online ritual. So one thing that you want to release. And I'll give you a bit more explanation on the ritual later. And as you think of one thing that you want to release, another question that I would like for you to journal is, what is for you, in your understanding, what is the difference between being perfect and being whole? The difference between being perfect and being whole. And the next question I would like you to think about is, what would change in your life, in your situation, if instead of striving to be perfect, you would be whole or wholesome? What would be different then? And what would happen if you saw other people as also being whole and empowered? How would that shift the situations?